Hello again. We're still in California, in Los Angeles, with my friend here, the lone palm tree and the ocean behind me. We're still gonna be drinking California wine today, and something a little bit different and maybe hopefully interesting, although there's a sad story behind it, I think. This is a wine by Prospect Vineyards. I don't know if you can see that. It's Prospect Vineyard. It's a Pick and Shovel is the wine line, and it's a Petite Sirah 2015. Anyway, the story behind this wine is a few years ago, I think 5 years ago, we, after touring Napa, we decided to go inland and visit Gold Country, really, which is sort of that whole area between Sacramento and Yosemite, if you want. So further inland, sort of west of Tahoe and east of Sacramento and south before you get to Yosemite. There's some, at the foot, basically at the feet of the Sierra Hills, and where a lot of gold prospecting was going on, and you still have these really incredibly picturesque little towns. We stayed in a hotel called the Imperial Hotel in Amador, and you've got to see the picture of that thing. I mean, it was just like what you'd imagine in an old western town, with a balcony on top in the rooms, with all the double doors going on the main street of the town, and all the shops in between. And if I can find some of these pictures, I may add them to this video. And so it was just really just an amazing, funky time. And you can visit some of the other cities that are still, like Sutter and some other, that are still the way they were back then. In any case, not that I don't know that gold digging had anything to do with it, but it's also seemed to be an interesting area to grow vines and to make wine. There are quite a few small wineries there that make some pretty good wines. So this is a wine we tasted at the restaurant, and we really liked that. We bought some more of it. So, and again, it's got the whole lingo here because it's called Prospect, Cellars, and it's the Pick and Shovel line. So it's all harking back to that heritage. And I don't know, maybe the terroir there, because of the presence of gold at some point, where it does do something different, but it's very different than the rest of the coast, so to speak. Anyway, I don't know if you can see, this is very, very dark. This is what you expect Petite Sirah to be. It's dark, but it's also starting to be a little bit more limpid, let's say, or translucent at the top. It's just very nice to drink, and that's one of the reasons why my wife Kristen really liked it. It's very approachable, it's sort of delicious, and I think I want to share that with you guys. On the nose is typical sort of blueberries and sweeter, berries. And even though it's been open a few days, it still really has quite a bit of life. It's got a little bit of that gaminess on the back, of the nose, which is very nice. So it's really not a flat wine, not one-dimensional, I mean. Very soft. I mean, the tannins are there, but they're very resolved. They still linger with you on the back of the tongue. There's a little bit of salinity, which maybe I see in everything these days. But it's really very nice, and it's still nice after all this time. And it's now getting up in age, so it was able to hang in there for 7 years. Very nice Petite Sirah. A little more on the tart side, I think, than on the fruit side, but I don't mind that. I think it's very interesting. This is not an expensive wine, although in these small places they're more expensive than they should be, maybe. The sad story is, though, that I think that place that used to be in the old post office in Plymouth, California, is shut down. I can't find any trace of it. They say permanently closed online. It used to be this beautiful little sort of a restaurant and cafe, deli, wine. They had a lot of different homemade wines, homemade different lines, but sadly not anymore. I don't know if you can find any of these online, but I thought it was a fun story, and I think it's an area of California that may be worth visiting. Studying a little more from a wine point of view. Cheers, and I'm gonna look for these pictures for you. See you. So this was our hotel. As I said, really super picturesque. We were up there on the second floor, with the windows and the balcony overlooking the town, the main street, as you will see. Big bathroom, with an old tub and all that kind of stuff. This is our first bottle of pick and shovel. We started that at the restaurant, and we finished it in the room. As you can see, the hotel and the street it's on basically haven't changed for God knows how many years, and it's still got that design. And you see that architecture even in the museum, the type of roof. Some of these buildings are still there. This used to be a law office. This is the original main street in Sutter. Sutter is named after the fellow. Sutter was one of the pioneers of the gold rush. Unwittingly, of course. And Sutter was one of the founders of Sacramento, and he became a big landowner, land baron, until gold was discovered on his mill 10 years later in the 50s, in the late 40s. And then it sort of brought his ruin because of all the depredation and everybody squatting there and everybody wanting a piece of the action. And he ended up bankrupt. Which brings us to this abandoned gold mine, really well preserved, the Kennedy Gold Mine. Of course, what's a visit to gold country if you don't visit a gold mine? I really like this safe here. Anyway, this is the end of our visit, and hope to see you all soon.